On a cold evening in a small town cafeteria, Daniel Winters sat alone with his tray of food, trying to figure out how he would make tomorrow better for his 9-year-old son, Liam. Life had not been kind lately. His job at the factory had been cut back, bills were piling up, and his aging car coughed like it was breathing its last. Still, he forced a smile every day for Liam, who had already lost too much after his mother passed away 2 years earlier. Daniel lifted his fork when he suddenly heard two tiny voices behind him. "Can we eat with you?" He turned around and saw two little twin girls, no older than 7. Their hair was messy, their clothes worn, and their cheeks pink from the cold. But it was their eyes that stopped his breath, large, hopeful, and filled with a hunger that went far beyond food. Before he could respond, the taller twin added softly, "We don't have money. But we can sit quietly. We just want to be safe." The words hit him like a punch. Daniel's heart cracked wide open. He gestured gently. "Of course, come sit." The girls slid into the booth across from him, their hands clasped as if afraid someone would chase them away. Liam looked up from his plate, surprise on his face, but he instantly pushed his fries toward them. "You can have some," he said. The girls stared at the plate, then at Daniel, waiting for permission. When he nodded, they ate as though they hadn't eaten a real meal in days. Daniel tried not to stare too obviously, but he noticed everything. The shaking hands, the quiet apologies each time they reached for a bite, the way they kept glancing toward the door, as if expecting someone unpleasant to walk in. "Where are your parents?" Daniel finally asked, his voice soft. The girls froze. The younger one's lip trembled. "Our dad left yesterday," she whispered. "He said he was going to find work. He never came back. He took our bags and said he'd return. But he didn't." "And your mom?" Daniel asked gently. "She left long before," the older girl murmured. "We stay where Dad does. But now we don't have a place." Daniel felt his chest tighten. Two little girls, wandering alone, hungry, scared, and hoping the world still had kindness somewhere. What kind of father would leave them like that? He took a deep breath. "What are your names?" "I'm Aaliyah," the older one said. "And this is Arya. We're twins," the younger one added proudly, though her voice wavered. Liam leaned forward. "Wanna see my drawings after we eat?" A small smile appeared on Aaliyah's face. Arya nodded shyly. For a brief moment, the darkness around them lifted. But that moment didn't last long. As the cafeteria began closing, the manager approached with a stiff expression. He was polite but firm. "Sir, the children cannot stay here overnight." Daniel swallowed hard. "Of course, we'll leave soon. But leave where?" He looked at the twins, two children with nowhere to go, no family nearby, and no one to protect them. A storm had been predicted for the night. The temperature was already dropping. He took Liam's hand, then held the twins' shoulders gently. "Come with us," he said. "Just for tonight, you'll be safe." The fear in their eyes softened, replaced by trust so pure it made his throat tighten. Back at his small rented house, he wrapped them in blankets, warmed soup on the stove, and called social services to report that he had found 2 abandoned children. But because it was late and offices were closed, they could only schedule a morning visit. That night, Daniel sat awake on the couch, watching the girls sleep beside Liam. He saw how Arya clutched Liam's sweatshirt for comfort, how Aaliyah whispered in her sleep, "Don't leave us." He felt something he hadn't felt since his wife died, purpose. A reason to fight harder. Liam woke up briefly and asked, "Dad, can they stay forever?" Daniel didn't have an answer. Not yet, but in that moment, he wished he could say yes. Morning came with an unexpected challenge. When the social worker arrived, the girls panicked. Arya began to cry. Aaliyah stepped in front of her sister, trembling but brave. "Please don't take us away," she begged. "We like it here. We feel safe." The social worker knelt down gently and explained that they needed to find their father first. But as she drove off with the twins, Daniel's chest felt hollow. The house felt too quiet. Even Liam kept staring at the empty blankets. Hours passed with no update. Daniel couldn't focus on anything. He kept seeing their faces, their fear, their hunger. By afternoon, the social worker returned, with the girls. "They insisted on coming back," she explained. "And after evaluating everything, we cannot locate their father. No relatives have stepped forward. Until a decision is made, we need a temporary guardian." She looked directly at Daniel. "You're the only person they trust." Arya ran to him and wrapped her arms around his waist. Aaliyah followed, whispering, "We didn't want to go anywhere else." Daniel felt his throat burn with emotion. He signed the temporary guardianship papers without hesitation. The days turned into weeks. The girls settled into the house like they had always belonged. Aaliyah cooked simple breakfasts with Liam. Arya followed Daniel around, asking endless questions. The house, once quiet and heavy with loneliness, filled with giggles, chaos, and warmth. But then another challenge arrived, a court hearing. A decision had to be made. Would the girls stay with Daniel permanently, or be placed into the foster system? Daniel spent the night before the hearing pacing the small living room. He had never felt so afraid. He was barely managing his own life. What if they said he wasn't capable of caring for them? When the day came, the judge listened carefully. Liam spoke first. "They're my sisters now," he said simply. "Please let them stay." Aaliyah followed, confessing how Daniel made them feel safe. Arya cried the whole time, afraid the judge would say no. When it was Daniel's turn, he stepped forward with trembling hands. "I'm not a perfect man," he said. "I'm a single father trying my best. My son and I have lost a lot. But these girls, they gave us something back. They belong with us. We want them. We love them." The courtroom fell silent. The judge finally spoke. "Mr. Winters, I see no reason to separate what has become a stable, loving family. Permanent guardianship is granted." Arya screamed with joy. Aaliyah threw her arms around Daniel. Liam laughed through tears. And Daniel, strong, quiet Daniel, broke down for the first time in years. His family was complete. They celebrated with their first official family dinner at the same cafeteria where it all began. As they sat together, Arya suddenly looked at him with her bright, innocent eyes. "Dad," she said, "we're not scared anymore. Because you picked us." Daniel shook his head gently. "No," he whispered, "you picked me." And in that moment, surrounded by the 3 children who saved him as much as he saved them, he felt something he thought he had lost forever: hope.